Okay, so I want to talk about how one line could become, or does become, infinity. So I think that this would be the Earth or any gravitational thing floating, and there's a suck. But I think it's actually just so one kind of stick oscillating. So the stick is going, okay? It's just constantly going like that as the thing is turning. So the stick itself is just going like back and forth. And it's happening from both magnetic sides. As this thing is just always going like this, as this thing is rotating. If that line keeps doing that, if you just visualize what that would do, so it's just kind of going back and forth and back and forth, something like that. And then I think as you keep doing that, because the thing's rotating, you keep, so if I focus, what's going on? The original time, this is what happened, and it came out how it is. So from the point, it keeps going like that. So as time increases over time, it'll be interesting to program this thing to do it, to program the stick that's going back and forth while its point is moving that way. It's changing relative space in space-time. So what you would get, keep trying to focus on what you would get instead of just making it happen. end up doing things like this. Okay, so now that's ultimately what it's okay, right? Okay. I still have this? Perfect. Okay. So basically, if your brain makes the tip of the pen do what you would imagine a stick floating in space is doing, it's just going back and forth, and then the thing is moving, and then it's going back and forth, and the thing is moving, it's going back and forth, and the thing is moving, and it's going back and forth, and the thing is moving. So you end up just doing circles like that, and if you keep doing that circle, the fulcrum of the thing always gets this, like the point that it falls in is always the same, and I think that you ultimately get this shape. I'm like forcing the shape now, but which would, I think, ultimately be this. And this is the earth, and the juices are fluxing in, let's say. And that's what I think gravitation is. So I think it's a bounce, but it's not a bounce. Like it goes through and it comes back, but there's still a like speed upper. There's a I would call it an oscillator at the center who is harnessing and then giving back. The thing is, I think he takes more than he gives back, because when you, like, it doesn't give back as much as obviously, right, because of time flow and how the past no longer exists, and how the gravity is a force of time, driver of time and motion. So ultimately I think time is motion. I think that's what time is. It's just motion. If no motion, no time. So motion in space equals time. Space-time is the concept that we have of space-time is always in a forward-flowing thing due to gravity, because gravity exists in our space-time. So that's what I think. And so at the center of this, there's either two things. There's withheld physical past information, or a trapped oscillator who is bringing in and sucking in, and the darkness could be that. But I wanted to speak about if time is truly physical, if the past does not exist ever from present here. Technically, I would think that as soon as you forget a recollection as soon as someone's work is no longer accessible through the present now, I would think that that present now, I think that that's the only thing that there is, but there's forward flow of gravity, so forward flow of time. This video is in the past now relative to you, but to me it's the current now. You're watching it from the current now, but you're watching something that was in the past. If this video no longer exists and the data of it completely deteriorates, then there will only be your recollection of that. If you cannot pass on that recollection through something of this thing, then I think it would no longer exist. But maybe I guess the repercussions of it would exist forever through little micro things that you're going to do differently from this point on. So maybe the past exists in that way forever, because the present is forever.